The broadcast was deleted on Facebook to stream the video. Create a new broadcast or just remove the destination. Edit. Change image now. Okay, so I need to scheduled. That's right. Well, it's still there. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So be it. Wasn't meant to be. But because it's all so new, I'm also trying to work out what the hell's going on. I'm just going to save the changes right now and see if it works for me.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Evelyn Olivares. Welcome to Property Matrix. I have with me this evening Pilar Fox and also Harry Dhillon, as per the agenda that I showed you earlier on. So we're streaming live on Facebook, and we're also on Zoom. So for those of you who might be on Zoom, just let me know everything's okay. I'm just going to go over to Zoom now and make sure that that's all good. I'm sure it will be. There's no reason why it wouldn't be. Yeah, so everything should be fine. If you've got any kind of feedback for me, guys who are watching, just you can send me a chat in Facebook Live, or you can send me a message. So okay, so I'm just going to. I've got a very brief PowerPoint presentation just to introduce you, to make it all very clear about who is here. So again, thanks for being here.
Hi Evelyn, how are you?
Hi Billy, this is Pilar Fox and Harry Dhillon. Thank you so much, guys, for being here.
Hi Harry.
Okay, so this evening Pilar's going to start off in just a moment. She's going to talk about off the plan investment and sales, and she's also going to give us a little, if time permitting, she's going to give us a little bit of input on asset management right now during the COVID and what it's been like for landlords. And just to give you a better understanding of what it is like out there in the market today. And Harry he's also a real estate agent, as is Billy. And Harry also has a bachelor in commerce and master in accounting. So if he doesn't know about investing in property and improving your portfolio, no one does. So I look forward to getting your comments and getting your feedback a bit later on. So if you're all ready to go, Pilar, I'd like you to start. If we don't make the 15 minutes, that's fine. 10 minutes is also good. Or if we go a little bit over, that's also fine as well. I just want to keep it as short as I can so that people don't get bored watching us. Because as I said, this is going live. So we'll try to stick to that agenda. It certainly won't go over the hour. We'll try and keep it to 45 minutes and take it from there. So I've got Harry first, but Pilar's going to go first. Okay, so Pilar, would you like to start for us, please?
Sure. Okay, so basically I just want to talk about off-the-plan sales, which involves buyers as well, of course. I believe that at the moment, the prices are very reasonably low. The rates are very low. So I think there's no better time to get into the market and become an investor, especially for the first homeowners. I mean, they can purchase and free stamp duty and et cetera, but sometimes they just don't have the deposit to be able to step in. So sometimes I said to our tenants, look, you can continue living your normal life, pay your rent, but become an investor, put 10% on a property, wait 2 years to save some more money, and then you can basically own a property in the long term. Your tax man and your tenant and your depreciation schedule will be paying for it. And if you pay around $100 plus strata council water rates, it's a bit of a pocket money that otherwise it will go on other things. So I think that's a wise thing to do. Become an investor if you can't become a first home buyer. The other thing is some people are concerned about an off the plan because all what we all heard in the media about the Mascot Towers and the Opal Towers. If you put that on perspective, and not that I don't feel for the owners that were involved in those in that issue and the effects and so on, it's a terrible thing to happen. However, I think that you basically can do your due diligence and make sure. Can you hear me there?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I just lost it myself. So you can basically being able to do your due diligence and make sure you get a good developer and find out who the builders are, and that way you don't get those sad stories. But if you put that, as I said, in perspective, and you see thousands of buildings going up every year, if you can count two big issues, two towers, in that perspective is not as many. It's not like the whole of the plan industry is in a bad shape or anything. It happens, and it hasn't been happening for many, many years. And yes, I mean, but if you do your due diligence, you should be able to find a good developer. Other than that, there is other types of developments that people are turning into it, as well as some investors. You probably heard of the dual occupancy or dual houses, dual apartments, which means that you got one property, but you separate them into, therefore you get double income. That's becoming more and more popular now. They're doing it in Brisbane, and they start doing it in Sydney as well. You can find apartments as well. It happens that one of my clients had a 2-bedroom apartment, 1 bathroom, 1 garden space, and next door he has a studio apartment. So he purchased one apartment, but he has $450 income on one. This is in the western suburbs area, and they still get nearly $300 for the studio apartment. So really, you get like $700. When otherwise you will get just $450. So that sort of products are available in the market now, and I think people should look into it, and it's a good investment to do it that way, having dual income through dual occupancy.
Very smart investing.
Yes, it sounds like it. Yeah, certainly worthwhile looking into for sure.
Absolutely. And as I said, with the new government guidelines, people who are concerned about buying off the plan right now, the government has put those guidelines in place after the Opal Tower, and I think investors and owners are more protected, and developers and builders will become more accountable, as well as the certifiers, where it seems to be the main issue in those things.
Cool.
Approving. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I think that it's becoming more and more popular. In regards to the rental market, it's not the best. I think the sales are going a little bit better, but I think we have to become a bit more creative, a little bit more innovative in the way that we present these apartments. In our company, we've been reviewing all of the photos and made the photos look really attractive. Sometime for $289, you can take good professional photos, put some virtual furniture, and have a floor plan in place. So it would be more attractive to see an apartment that is nicely done rather than an empty, dark sort of apartment. So we're doing that. Obviously, price is a big issue. I think most of the owners have come on board and realized that the market is what it is, and they have lowered their prices. And it's a lot of competition. As everybody knows, we don't have the students, we don't have the migrant workers coming here, and so all the areas close to the CBD have been impacted the most. So areas like Piedmont, Ultimo, and the city itself,
Okay.
they're they experience high rates of vacancy at the moment. So price, a bit of innovation, and some other strategies can be like giving them a 1 week rent free or 2 weeks rent free. I try to leave those at the last, as a last resource, but it all depends, of course, on how many weeks of vacancy you have.
Yeah.
Other things, for example, if the apartment doesn't have air conditioning and you've got another 10 that will have, that's a tough competition. So I'll suggest to the owners, can you spend $2,000-$3,000? We've got an air conditioning, and then nowadays, especially now, for example, coming into summer, it's very hard to lease apartments without air conditioning. So you look into all those little things that can improve and trying to get apartments rent. Hopefully it won't last too long, and from here to 6 months, we are in a better shape. But as you know, properties are a long-term investment, not just 2 or 3 years. We'd have it, but I don't think it's going to come back for quite a while.
Great, thank you, Pilar. That's really, really interesting.
You're welcome.
Okay, Harry, can I get you to come in now on that? Because working off the plan and buying off the plan, also selling off the plan, when we're also thinking about the new project homes that are being built, the house and land packages, could you give us some insight on that? Because I know that you're doing that right now and you're doing it quite successfully. What's that market like?
Evelyn and Pilar, so great inputs from your side, Pilar, in terms of the planned housing side. And I would like to touch looking to buy in the land and the houses of the plan. So as we all aware of, the government is supporting the housing market in terms of the off the plan. So we are getting
That's okay, just keep going.
So the government is supporting sort of Australian housing market, the nationwide. So we basically the home builders grant. So what growth we have seen in the northwest of Sydney and the southwest of Sydney. So having the major infrastructure is being planned by the government, and due to this pandemic, so everyone was scared very initially. But over the time, that due to those incentives, due to those home builder grant, the confidence in the buyers is huge. Because everyone trying to secure those properties before 31st of December, because that's when the home builders grant is ending. So what that the grant means to the first-time buyers, so they basically be getting $25,000 towards their home if they're buying a property under $750,000 both house and land. That is something I have seen the huge market activity since that's been happened. And on the other side, I want to touch on the established housing market as well.
Yeah.
So basically, so due to this uncertain time of pandemic, so we have seen that decline at the very beginning, and but because all of the prediction was coming, the Australian housing market going to drop 30%, 40%, 50%, but nothing likely that happened. Basically, we have seen the investors, the first-time buyers, the people who's downsizing or upsizing. They have found I think they found this is the best time to do those sort of transactions, because in the pandemic, everyone is switching, everyone is selling, everyone is buying. So these smart investors, these smart people who want to build their property portfolio or getting in the market, so they are basically securing their properties. Or in terms of selling side, so people are getting really good bargains out there, and the vendors are very lenient with accepting the offers as well. So they are letting the properties go. They're not very fussy about holding those property for long. The properties in the market is not taking more longer than it normally it was. And also there is another area I want to touch on the selling perspective is the off-market sales. So a lot of vendors, they are preferring to sell their market even before they list it. because that saves them the time and plus the marketing cost.
Yeah.
So and also there's a number of buyers, they're looking for that sort of deals as well, off market deals. So because they don't want to get into the competition with the other buyers. So what I encourage all the buyers out there is to be in touch with your agent in the area you're looking to buy a property to hit that property before even they list in the market. So I think this is a perfect time to secure a home. Either you're upgrading or you're transitioning from any strata property to an independent house. I think this is a perfect time to secure those sort of properties.
Yes, I agree, Harry. I think it is a great time, and whether you're buying it established or whether you're buying off the plan, whatever it might be, the market is open. This is a great opportunity, I think, right now.
Huge interest from the buying perspective. Great activities has been happening. The open home we do is, we never see that sort of the activities in those open homes. And the average families hitting on the open homes is about 20-25 families each open homes. It's really, really good to see those people are showing. The important thing is the finances are the really, really important factor during this time, because the bank is taking longer period to approve those finances as they used to be, because due to this COVID thing. The banks are taking about 3 to 4 weeks, and the vendors are very always lenient with those, giving them a cooling off period of time to the buyers, because they understand those sort of finances perspective. The bank is taking time. And what I encourage everyone who's looking to buy a property, have their finances in place before they're putting any offer or signing any contract. Make sure their mortgage broker or the bank has given them a green light to go ahead and buy the property, or have it pre-approval in hand if they're looking for any deals in the market.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, because sometimes people don't understand that you need to get your finances ready first and then go shopping. They normally like to go shopping first, and then they get in love with the expensive property they might not be able to afford. So that's a great point, Harry. And it's really hard. People say, but show me what you have to sell first, and can you take me there? I will say, yes, we will, but let's find out how much is your borrowing capacity first, and then we can show you what we can offer you for that sort of amount. And it just saves so much time, not just to us, but also to the client, because it's like catching a bus without knowing where you're going first. So it's a really good point.
Yeah, I think what everyone learned from this COVID is home is very important than ever. So everyone, we have seen that, like, people was renting and they were happy. Now they are in the market, and they said we want to buy as well. Basically, working from home, that culture, which is something new, during the COVID. And I think in the post-COVID, there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of works is going to be running from the home. So people need space.
Exactly. And the good thing is that you can buy an investment property, live there, and claim for the tax your office usage as well. So it's another way of getting that help you to pay for it.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the idea that that dual housing in the one property. You can generate an income. You can, if you have a big enough land, even if you have an established home. I noticed around the West Pennant Hills area, there's a lot of properties now got granny flats.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really taking off. And if you look at the inner city, I mean, the blocks of land are like 200 and 300 square meters. Out here we've got blocks of land around 1,000 and more. And so, you can comfortably live in a smaller, space. And there
are niches like that everywhere as well. As you know, Evelyn, I do sell apartments. They used to be off the plan, but they're all complete now. And because of COVID, obviously, it should have been all sold by now. But we still have a bit of a stock left. And I'm selling this in Liverpool at the moment, and they're amazing. Like, you have two bedrooms, and one car space for around 550,000, and it's so close to the airport, the new airport they're building, and the infrastructure is enormous. So now we're getting tenants, we're getting buyers in the West. Developers are moving there because the land is cheaper. The sizes are a bit more generous. I mean, as you know, Evelyn, we're based in North Sydney, so we normally, get developers in eastern suburbs area. Now we have some in northern beaches, but in the West, it's a lot more movement. I think that because the properties are between 550 up to 600K, people are more inclined to get bigger places for less money, whether it's investment or not. But this airport is generating a lot of movement there. So that's a little niche of what investors with a low sort of budget, they can get started in places like that as well.
Yeah. Harry, with you working in the Northwest for young families in houses, can you share some information on what you've been selling of late and the pricing?
We are selling, Evelyn and Pilar, we are selling off the plan house and land packages. So basically, what we are doing for our clients is, so there is a lot of stock out there in the marketplace in those northwest and west and even the south as well. But how we helping our client is basically we secure the land separate from the developer, and we do the build with the exclusive builders. We do all the custom building. Right. So basically, we're trying to save as much money we can in the building side, because in the land size we it's not in our hand basically. So we buying from the developer, and but on the other side, in the building side, that's where we saving money and making those packages together for our clients. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure our client is saving money in this marketplace, and because we use our experience and knowledge to do those negotiations.
Beautiful. Okay.
One other thing that I would like to add is that I have quite a few clients on the pipeline, sort of thing, so to speak, and they still waiting. They waiting for the prices to come down, or first was it because of the first job keeper now in September. Now that it's been postponed till March, let's wait till March, and they just keep waiting and waiting. And I'm thinking, as you say, Harry, and plus the things I have seen, there is good prices and lower rates to get in today. They're waiting to get prices go even lower, and I don't see it happen.
No,
you can see all the reviews across the board in the real estate industry. Everybody's saying like, the prices are a bit established, especially in the sales, not so much on rental, but in the sales. And how can they go any lower? So vendors rather put them, take them off the market and wait themselves. So if for those people out there that are waiting for something, I will say you better hurry up.
You don't wait. Yeah, exactly.
When the borders open, and there are rumors. I mean, I don't know, conspiracy theories that when the borders open, is people that, for example, in Hong Kong, they would love to get out of there and come here and buy. They're coming with a lot of money, so if they don't want to see to repeat what happened, and the first home buyers, they're going to be left out of the market again. Yeah. So you can buy now, buy cheap, low rates, and you don't have any competition. Wait a bit longer, open the borders, and it will be a lot more competition. So
absolutely.
Take advantage of it.
There are a number of factors that will drive the market post-pandemic. One of the thing is the immigration. So we're gonna have a big hit to the immigration.
Absolutely.
And also people being, the Sydney-siders living in interstate, like living in Victoria or Queensland, they're all moving back home with this sort of uncertain time. So they're all moving close to their families. I think that will bring the strong market, up as well.
Yeah,
and we are one of the safest country in the world, so I think there's a lot of people wanting to come and live here.
The city as well.
Yes, yeah. I get a lot of feedback. I've got a lot of clients up in the Ballina Byron Bay area, and I was there recently doing some training with them, and they were saying that they're getting a lot of Sydney folk, a lot of young people who would ordinarily stay in the city, are saying, you know what, I'm out of here, and they're going north. It's close, to Byron Bay and Ballina, because they've got some great lifestyle. They can all work from home. They all know that now. The offices are allowing them to do that. And
Absolutely.
The prices in that area haven't dropped. In fact, they have, stabled and increased. So
we have statistics about Byron Bay going absolutely bananas with prices and all that. It's a big influence. The market's going really hot at the moment.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Gary. Did you have anything else to add? Did you wanted to do that now before I take over again?
The one thing I want to add is the transition. What I'm seeing in the marketplace is the people who've been living in the properties, say about apartments, townhouses, or villas from last 5 to 6 years, and they are the one also in the marketplace to get those advantage of home builders grant. Because there's no restrictions. If you're a first-home buyer, second-home buyer, or third-home buyer, you can still eligible to get that sort of grant. So I've seen that activity in the newer house and land size as well. That sort of people, that sort of families, they are switching from those apartment, townhouse, or villas to independent houses as well. Because initially they was not looking to do that because of the stamp duty factor.
Yeah.
So now having that grant in place, that can reduce the sort of stamp duty. So they are also looking to buy as well as the first home buyers.
Okay.
That's two type of buyers in the market. So the one who's doing the transition from the upsizing, and the one is the first home buyers in the housing market.
Yeah. Harry, can I ask you regarding the stamp duty? There are talks about, and I think probably more in Brisbane than here, but there are talks about getting rid of it, or the government getting rid of them, and then charge them on a yearly kind of rates. Do you think that would be a good thing to get people foot in the market if they don't have enough money to get started?
100%. I think what's been holding people to buy an investment property or buy a second home is the stamp duty has been a biggest factor. So the government will come and help in these sort of during this uncertain time with the stamp duty pause. I think everyone will have a confidence to buy.
Yeah. I think if they get rid of them, you will see a lot more activity.
Ask them for a while and get everyone in during this time. I think that will be great help from the government side.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Great. Okay. Thank you, guys. Well, I think what's happening here with COVID, in the world, globally, we're looking at. We're all on a level playing field now. All right, level playing field. Yes, some of the investment, the best properties, the rental has dropped, but it had to. We got to the stage where it was quite exorbitant for renters to find property at a price that they could afford. But with the COVID, I think regardless of whether you're a buyer or a vendor, COVID has allowed us all to take a step back, take a breath, and just observe for a while. It is nothing better than just observing the market and observing your environment. What has happened as a result of COVID is a lot of people. There's a lot more opportunities out there for different people, and technology has improved. And it's been used. It's been amazing at how it's been used right now in real estate. So when we talk about the methods of sale, we all know the traditional methods of sale are private treaty and auction, of course. So the private treaty and the auction, similar. The only thing that's different really is on the most basic level is that we have an auction date, which is typically 4 to 6 weeks from when the listing we start marketing. In order to try to sell the property, there's often a lot more marketing involved in that. Private treaty, people just come to see their property and they make an offer, they come back. But at least with auction, there is a cutoff point. They must make a decision before that date, which is what's been happening traditionally. We all know that now, there's no more open for inspections as such. The inspections are by appointment only because of COVID, and we don't know when it's going to change. So we have to adhere by those guidelines. But it's still, people are still looking. With today's technology, we've got videos now. People don't have to necessarily go and see the property until they see the video. They do a walkthrough online, and then they can go and, if they're really interested, go and see the property there physically, which is great. There is a third method of sale now, and this has been going on. It's been going on actually for 4 years. It's hit the New South Wales market up in around about October last year, 2019. And it's online sale of property. Now, since COVID, there have been a lot more players come up into the market like very quickly, okay, which is a good thing also. But what happens in when we're doing auctions online, it's very different. Some people say, that sounds like it's a bit like eBay. Well, I guess in a very basic sense, it might be, but it's a lot more than that. What happens with real estate agents, very typically, the vendors and the buyers don't always trust what the agent says, because you're a real estate salesperson. Can I trust you? Well, of course, that will depend on you and the agent that you're working with. But with an online auction, you have transparency the whole time. You stay in control. It's your property, or it's a property you want to buy, regardless of which side you're on. But this is the latest innovation in real estate sales. I found this back in 2019, around about October, so it's 12 months now. I loved it so much that I actually learned how to use it myself. And I've been training agents, and I'm the auctioneer for a number of agents now, and doing the auctions online. It's a hybrid. It's a hybrid between the private treaty and auction process. So it's kind of utilizing the best of both worlds in an environment where people don't have to be frightened or anxious about an auction. They can see exactly what's going on in real time once they have joined as an observer or as a buyer. They know exactly what people are offering on that property. So it's a really exciting experience for most people. It gives both the vendors and the buyers the advantage of accessing the latest technology in real estate sales. So it's a different kind of strategy. It's fresh, it's new. And, as one of the agents I listened to just the other day, he said, whenever you want to zig, whenever they zag. And this is it. If you want a fresh strategy, then this is the way to go. It's really, really amazing. What also I've found also that a lot of people today, sometimes the commission, can be a little expensive, although agents have brought some of that commission down. And there is a lot of work in selling a property. There's a lot of work, there's a lot of marketing, there's a lot of strategizing, a lot of, targeting the right kind of people, the right advertising. So a lot of people are trying to sell the properties on their own. One of the disadvantages of that, of course, is people don't like to negotiate directly with the vendor because they feel like they might be intimidated, or they don't want to offend the vendor, and so they'd rather just walk away and go and buy somewhere else, which is a bit of a disadvantage for the vendor. But if you choose to work to market your own property and put it on the for sale by owner market, you can engage an accredited auctioneer an open negotiation auctioneer, and you can work with the auctioneer to conduct the auction on your behalf. So you can go ahead, if you are a vendor, you can go ahead and you can advertise all your own property, or you can engage an agent, and they can do the online negotiation auction for you. Either way, it's okay. I still feel that having the agent with you on board is the best option. For those who wanted to give it a go, by all means, and if you wanted to go and be able to utilize the latest technology online, you can't do it on your own because you're not an agent, but you can engage someone who is accredited in that area. That image on the right-hand side, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that image on the right-hand side actually shows the bids as they come in, so that all the buyers and the vendor can see. They don't know who the person is that's bidding, but each person bidding has their own number and their own. It's also color coded, and we can see how many bids are being offered and how frequently. Totally transparent, absolutely. Buyers are happier because they can see what's going on. They can see that other people are interested, and the advantage is too that when you use an open negotiation method, is that everybody who's bidding are qualified from the get-go. Their bid isn't accepted until they have actually gone through the contract the process, and they can add their own conditions as long as the vendor agrees with that. So either way, it's a really good place to be. So whether you go with an agent and a traditional private treaty, or whether you go with an agent and use your auction on site, or whether you choose the third method now, which is the online auctions, it really doesn't matter. Agents, not all agents will offer the online program today, but the agents here that are talking to you today, they're all open to it, and it's because it is a great way to go. So really, if you are interested in anything that the guys have spoken about tonight, if you're listening either on Facebook Live or on Zoom, or if you've been referred to this video, you're welcome to give us a call. All the details, of course, I showed you earlier on of how to contact Pilar and Harry, and of course myself. We have another 4 summits coming up. We're scheduling every 2 months: November, February 2021, April, and then June 2021. So if you'd like to speak to anybody about what's been discussed tonight, please feel free to send an email or just call them direct. And I know that the guys would be very happy to help you further. So with that, thank you both for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. We've really made good time. We actually kept to the 44 minutes actually.
Oh, so that's a record for me.
It's been great. So thanks again, and I look forward to speaking to you all again real soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good to see you.
Bye.